Is anyone else not hearing anything?
I think Ranger might have accidentally muted himself.
Hey! Just realized my mic was muted because someone was doing the porg thing.
Porg.
That Dr. Finn is a butthole. Dr. Finn, why did you have to do the whole porg thing?
Because somebody just got me a porg poster and I hung it up, and now I have like 8 porgs staring at me.
Hello?
Aww, that's so cute.
And now
I think Ranger has Skype muted.
Like,
what the hell? God damn it. Oh, now I can hear everybody. You're a very bad man, Dr. Finn. You screw up the whole thing.
Porg.
You're a very, very bad man.
There's a picture in the RSG Discord. Somebody got me a porg poster. Porg.
Aww.
Porg.
Since you just want to screw up everything, Finn, why don't you just introduce everybody and everything? I'm just going to sit here.
Alright, so we have the mechanic porg, Grim.
Porg.
We have the lady porg, Miss Dana Descent.
Porg.
We have the weed porg, Probra.
What in the hell is going on today?
Yeah, right.
And we have the English porg, Mike Hunt.
Old porg.
There we
Yum,
go.
yum. Nom,
And then we
nom.
have the cranky porg himself, Mr. Ranger J 1999.
I refuse to acknowledge that you even said that.
Porg.
Porg.
I'm thinking 8 porgs must be enough to make a decent pie.
There's actually 9 of them.
Never.
There's actually 9 of them. There's 9 of them with so there's 18 big eyes just staring at you. It's adorable. Porg.
And one purple head.
When you say 9, I just think of Ranger in that video. 9.
That was a good video.
Very good.
Go ahead, Finn. I told you I'm already on.
Porg.
He's eating porg. That's what he's doing. He's like,
You can end
So
the
welcome
show.
to
Go ahead and end the show,
RSG
Finn.
Porg
I'm just
today.
chilling.
Yeah. All about porgs.
It's all about porgs today, people's porg. And so
Porg.
Ranger's streaming. So all of this porg talk is coming through Ranger's computer. So let's talk about porgs and how adorable they are. Dana, I'll start with you.
I'll be watching
Discuss-
Star
I love
Trek if you
porg.
need me.
They're so cute. And I have a stuffy porg, and I love it so much, and it makes little noises and flaps its wings. And yeah, porgs are awesome. I just said pugs. Porgs,
Pugs are
porgs,
awesome
and porgs.
too, but yeah.
Yeah. Pugs are so cute because they snort and they have smushy faces. And I love those. But yes, porgs. Love
I like to snap porg neck and then cook them into a barbecued sauce and glaze with a little, sugar glaze.
You're awful. Bro. You're awful.
Terrible. Porg should be the shout out word for this week.
Maybe.
Porgs are like the pheasant of the real world. Yeah, they're cute, but man, they taste good.
All right. So let's go ahead and we'll discuss more about porgs. We'll go ahead and start doing the Ranger, the roster review. Ranger, do you have the GG page for Boss Livewire up?
Nope.
Porg.
I think it's something to do with Florida. They're both in Florida right now.
Yes, I do have the roster review of Finn. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
Say
So we
anything.
have the roster review for Boss Livewire up, and he is looking for a review of his mods and a general review except for fleets. So he's doing fine in fleets. He's also trying to figure out where he should be farming. Arena, he's planning on switching to a Bastila lead with the typical Jedi team, so General Kenobi, Grandmaster Yoda, Hermit Yoda, and Ezra, once I get them at least to gear 11, he says. So he's trying to figure out how he should mod his team and when he should switch.
Excellent.
So,
And you got to shout out what guild he's in.
oh yeah, he's in Knights of Mandalore.
All right. You guys take it away. I'm
I have
watching
it up.
Star Trek. I'm not here.
He's watching Star. So not only is he anti-Porg, he is blaspheming the whole Star Wars thing
Yeah,
by watching
because
Star-
I just want to do porgs and jump into
Well, I
stream
have to
early
admit,
and-
I do like Star Trek as well.
I don't.
yeah.
I don't mind it, but this is all Star Wars. This is supposed to be Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm over here just chilling.
Well.
So
Okay.
I played lots and lots of Star Trek online, so me too.
I know it
Oh.
had William Shatner in it. That's about as much as I know.
Old Jazz said it. Porgs were the highlight of The Last Jedi. He said it. There we go.
I know a guy that was in a Star Trek was Galvatron's voice in Transformers. I do know that too. That's my Star Trek knowledge.
All right, so let's do this for Boss Livewire. Grim, do you want to take a look at his mods while we look at his general roster?
Yeah.
So let's go to his characters area ranger, and we can take a look at his general characters that he has available. He has CLS, he has Jedi Training Ray, so he has 2 of the characters that you want to make sure you farm. He has a Gear 12 7-star Scion. Interestingly enough, though, he wants to switch to a Jedi team.
Yeah, I like that people are switching over to Jedi because it makes it to where my EP team can kill him much more easily.
Yeah, I'm not
Sith
understanding.
Marauder, man. Sith Marauder.
That's murderer. You're saying it, Rob.
Yeah.
Sith murderer.
Anyways.
So I'm trying to figure out why I don't think he's in the chat. But if he is, you can go ahead and message Boss Livewire. We can talk to you afterwards as well. I'm just trying to. Oh, there he is.
Said I'm Boss Livewire.
Yeah, there we go. So Matt Richmond. So just curious why you want to switch to a Jedi team permanently. Now I understand building a
dark side.
So the Jedi team is a good counter to Emperor Palpatine teams, and it makes it easier. But it's overall not really a better team for Arena. It's a better climbing team than it is a team to kind of stay on defense. Emperor Palpatine will probably last you better. Now, I'm assuming part of it is frustration in terms of dropping in Arena, because I see for a little while you were just in the top 200, and you were running a CLS team, and then as soon as you moved to Emperor Palpatine, you've been kind of in the top 100 and top 50. So is your difficulty right now beating those Emperor Palpatine teams? Because if that's where it is, then it makes sense to work on a Bastila team, because she is an easy counter. But if it's something you're trying to keep in Arena long term, I think that may not be the best direction to go. But we can take a look at the rest of your characters here. Ranger, do you disagree with that in terms of the characters to work on Jedi? Don't do it for me. Do it for our viewers.
No, you destroyed this whole stream with the whole goddamn Porg thing, Finn. I told you there would be repercussions. You're an evil bad man, so you can deal with it. Boss Livewire just wanted to let you know that Finn has ruined your roster review because he's a dickhole.
Oh. Well, I hope you enjoyed Porgs, Matt Richmond, Boss Livewire, because Porgs are awesome.
Listen, when it comes to the Jedi, they do counter certain things, and they are meta. But Traya eats them alive. So if you can go dark side, and if you are shooting towards getting her and putting her in your team, and even Emperor Palpatine team on offense can kick the snot out of every Bastila team.
Mike is driving.
Yeah. No, I'm not. It's Grande. He's not talking at the moment.
What? Is he? What? Is he in here? He's not in here.
I was gonna be like, it's not me this time.
Yeah, let's say, Mike, you're a filthy liar. So not only do we have Finn doing the poor thing.
Oh damn! I thought it was Grande.
Yeah, I was looking like, did he really? Did he pull another Saturday night? I was like, wait a minute.
So, going back to the Jedi thing, I'm trying them, and
they're great on offense. They're really, really good. And on certain teams that on defense they can get RNG and beat Emperor Palpatine teams, but
not anymore.
But Trey teams. Yeah, but you still lose with an Emperor Palpatine because there's certain.
Yeah, I struggle against any squad with a Sith Trooper in it.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's as tanky as tanky.
Right,
tank.
You have no way of getting around that. You just sit there and it's too easy.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, fracture Kenobi, isolate Yoda, burn him down. All right, isolate Ezra, burn him down. Oh, assassinates up, annihilates up. By Bastila. It's too easy. You don't even have to. It's way too easy.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's an easy one-character counter to the Bastila Jedi team, and it's Sith Marauder. He just uses his special, gives the EP team all potency up, and then Bastilla's extra tenacity doesn't work, you can stick all your debuffs on the team, and EP will walk all over it.
Yeah, but even if you look at like Darth Scion, he removes all their buffs with his AoE attack, right?
Yeah, but the problem with that is even if you mod for potency on your characters, without the potency up
the skulls on them,
it won't stick.
Yeah, but that's not the point. It just removes all the buffs on them, right? And
so
that's all you care about. If you land a skull here and there, that's fine. But that's all Scion's there to do, is get all those buffs off, and then it's really cake. I don't care if they have a General Kenobi or an old Ben in there. If you're going to, that's all you have to do. You know,
it's like a battle of attrition. It's like an OG.
You isolate one with Traya, and you just burn them down. They can't do a thing. And especially isolating Yoda, he's not stealing buffs. He's not getting foresight. He's not spreading dick. And you basically got that team wrapped up. And all you have to do with Thrawn, if you're using them, or it just control General Kenobi. You know,
you could fracture Grandmaster Yoda too. So that's
you
what
could
I
do the other way. You could isolate Kenobi and fracture. I don't care how you do it. But
even if you don't have a Traya, so I put out the video last week, right, with the GK Barris team, and that all you have to do is fracture Grandmaster Yoda, and you just keep on attacking Kenobi. They can't really do anything to you. Ouchie then posted in the comments that she used Night Sisters. So I've been playing around with Night Sisters too, and they're pretty consistent in beating the. I didn't think they would be because the plague wouldn't last. But all you have to do is like outlast 1 or 2 rounds, and you can do that pretty easily because they focus on Kenobi and they focus on Zombie. Then you land like 1 plague on Kenobi, because I just keep on attacking Kenobi. I don't bother attacking anybody else. Just focus on Kenobi, keep on attacking him, burn down that protection. Once you land 1 plague, it like just keeps on spreading like wildfire, and they all just die. So I haven't lost with the Night Sisters either. So there's a few combinations you can use in order to beat Bastila, and they're fairly common ones. Like I know Grim, you mentioned Sith Marauder, but he's one of like the least farmed characters right now, just in general. But he is good.
But he is really easy to gear, and it's a Cantina farm. So you know, if you don't have the GK Barris or your Night Sisters up, it's a 1 character that will slot into any EP team. Even if you don't have Traya.
Yep. So he's a late farm for a lot of players. So if you work on Marauder, and I was working on Marauder for a little while too. His kit is really good. It's just a matter of what you have available. But even if you have just more of the common ones, GK Barris with Thrawn is available with Annihilus, and then you can just keep on annihilating because it's just an annihilate sequence team. Night Sisters still work. And I use a strong zombie, so for those of you worried about the whole strong zombie, weak zombie thing, strong zombie works very well because I haven't lost using the Night Sisters after you mentioned that. So Night Sisters are there as well. So there's a lot of teams that can counter the Bastila team.
Have you seen the Kira lead nest? That's it.
Just Kira nest.
And that's it, and they can take out Bastila.
Yep.
I think it was T Money that was talking about that one that brought that to our attention.
Yeah.
Kira dies and then just Nest keeps on blowing them away.
And I mean, so there's the Bastila team is nice, and I think it's probably going to be more dominant at the lower arena levels because a lot of players may not have those common characters. But you're at 2.7, almost 2.8 million GP, which means that you've been playing for a while. Your arena is probably pretty advanced. I mean, you have 7-star Gear 12 Sith team right now, the Sith Empire team. So I don't think the Bastila is going to last. I mean, it'll be okay to climb. You'll be able to get high ranks if your struggles are against Emperor Palpatine lead teams.
Yeah, and it's great on offense.
In terms of defense, it won't. Yeah.
On offense, you can, because you're controlling what they're doing, right, and countering. The AI does some funky stuff. I don't know why it just does, and that's why you can see it's easy to beat, teams on offense. But on defense, once you understand the mechanics, there's no way you can lose unless you just have the worst RNG in the history of the world. And even when I've had that RNG, it's like, well, I still win. So
I had one last night. Grandmaster Yoda popped up, full protection Nihilus. He took out my Nihilus in one hit. I mean, he had his buffs up and stuff, but I was like, what the hell was this?
Yeah, but even if you just stick with it, you can still, again, control and dictate what's happening, and then, again, you get isolated, and then Trey starts doing her thing, and then it's like, okay. Takes a little longer, but yeah.
He took out my Palpatine next. I don't use Trey right now, but yeah, that's probably one of the only matches I ever lost. Was just
you do run that risk in the beginning with that team, is that they can, because of the buffs and how fast they go, they can't burn one of your characters, and then you could be in trouble. But you stick with it. You can still
it has to have terrible. It has to be terrible.
Here's another funny thing: is the new Wookiee Zalbar is hilarious against Bastilla teams because they just keep on attacking over and over and over and hitting him, and he gets to the point to where he's like only taking 100 points of damage from them at all, even on the mass attacks. And he's stacking freaking he's fun. I'm can't wait to farm him.
Is he the one that does the armor shred too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So
to get into the question then. Yeah, so if you're working on Jedi team, just make sure you kind of keep it in context there, Boss Livewire, just in terms of what you want to use that team for. I wouldn't say that you want to use it for defense. So that being said, if you're using it against Emperor Palpatine teams on offense, in terms of mods, you want to get Grandmaster Yoda fast, you want to get Hermit Yoda fast, but you don't have to worry too much about getting your fastest speed mods on them, because you have the tenacity at the beginning in order to resist it. So even if the Emperor Palpatine team goes first, you don't have to worry about it, because you're going to resist the dots by Vader, you're going to resist the stun by Emperor Palpatine, so you don't have to worry too much about all of the debuffs that are coming your way. So you want to get your your first mod should be, I think, remaining on your Sith and Empire team, and Grim will talk about the mods in a second. So you want to keep your fastest mods on that particular team, followed by your next level mods. If you're using Bastila in order to climb an arena, you'll want your second set of mods on there. And that's all you really need. You don't have to go anything crazy. You want speed on Bastila, you want speed on Yoda, you want speed on Hermit Yoda, you want tankiness on General Kenobi, and then you want damage on whoever's your damage dealer, whether it's Ezra, whether it's Ayla, whether it's Anakin, whatever your fifth Jedi is going to be on that team for damage dealing. And same thing if you're using Old Ben instead of General Kenobi as your tank. It's just all about damage on that fifth character. So
I agree with you, Finn. Have a fallback team, because you may not enjoy what happens to you when you run a Bastila squad in arena.
Yeah. So that was what he was looking for. So he was trying to figure out what he should do with his Jedi team, and I think it's perfectly fine to work on them. I just wouldn't rely on them on defense. So I wouldn't put your best mods on them. But let's talk about his mods a little bit. And Grim, what are you seeing?
He's got some decent mods. He's got a lot of speed set with speed secondaries that he can put on his arena team, and possibly do better than his regular non-speed set speed secondaries. But he's got them kind of spread between his arena team and a Jedi team.
I think Jedi Ray team also.
Yeah, and JTR.
Yeah, I think you need to refocus your mods.
Yeah, when you decide which arena team you are going to use full time, I'd say for your defensive team, put your best speed mods on it. And then if you decide to go for Jedi for climbing, one of the things that is nice about them is they don't really need your best speed set mods on them, or speed secondary mods on them. And if you aren't farming anybody in Cantina, I'd recommend trying to get some more speed secondaries. There is no such thing as having too many of them.
Dilly.
Dilly.
Yeah, so I think our general recommendations for you, Boss Livewire, is your mods, I think, need to be more focused on your arena team.
Yeah.
And I think that will help you get into the top 50 more regularly rather than kind of the top 100. You're kind of floating around. You're flirting a little bit with top 50 every now and then, but I think you can consistently get into the top 50, maybe even the top 20 if you focus your mods, because you do have some decent speed secondaries. You always want to get more, but you have some decent speed secondaries and on speed sets, but you always want to get more on speed sets. And then you can work on your Jedi team. If you're using an arena, I would put your second set on that one. If you're using your Jedi Training Raid team a little bit more in arena and also in the raid, then maybe put your next best speeds on Jedi Training Raid, and then you can go ahead and add it to the Jedi team next. The Jedi don't really need your best mods in order to beat an Emperor Palpatine team. You only need your best mods on there if you're putting them on defense, and I think your Emperor Palpatine team will last better on defense than Bastila teams. Especially if there are Treyas showing up on your shard, that'll be even worse.
Another thing too, if you can climb like that, if you can get into your top 20, you'll fall less daily in arena too. Typically, the higher you are, it seems like the less you fall daily in arena. So it does make climbs easier.
All right. What else are we looking for? I mean, he's got some work to do for that Jedi team with Hermit Yoda and Ezra need to be gear 12.
Yeah, and he said he's farming speed mods, so that's good. I mean, his main questions were around the Jedi team and the mods.
Okay.
So,
I mean, his
if you have anything else,
looks pretty solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a well-built roster. No issues with your top characters. They're all solid characters that you have at the top. It seems like you're building with a purpose, so it's always good. Yeah, so in whatever you're planning on doing, continue it, because you don't have too much scattering of resources. Like you're very focused and you're in what you're going for. Whether you're taking them to gear 11 or gear 12 or even gear 10, like with some of the Phoenix and whatnot, that's perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. It looks like you're pretty focused on where you're going. So yeah, just continue what you're doing. If you have any other questions about the Jedi and if you need help with the actual remodding, just let us know. We'll be happy to help. You can definitely consolidate your mods and get a stronger arena team. And based on what your arena team is, we've had this discussion before. You can either go with a faster Vader, you can go with the faster Thrawn, or you can go with the faster Scion. Each one has a different purpose based on what you're doing in arena, what teams you're using in arena, how your arena shard is kind of playing out. But one of those three characters, either Vader, Thrawn, or Nihilus, or Scion, one of those three characters should have your focused best speed sets. And it'll help also after the update, because then you'll have your fastest speed set on a character and you can create that mod loadout, and it'll be ready to go as well.
I agree. But if you have questions about other things about heroic Sith teams or anything like that, let us know. I mean, you just asked us about this specifically, so I would say improve your mods on your arena team. If you need help with that, let us know. You want to go the Jedi route, which is perfectly fine. Get the gear and stuff, and we can help you with that as well. But I think your roster looks pretty solid. Just keep rocking and rolling. You got some really good pieces here, and work on your mods a little bit. I think you'll be just fine. But yeah, anything else we need to look at?
Chrome, you had a question?
Yeah, can I ask you while we're discussing Palpatine Bastila teams? The past 2 days, because I run the Palpatine team, my Vader's basic is not laying ability block on their old bin. That's not supposed to be able to be resisted?
It's not. Well, is it saying resisted, or is it just not landing? Because there is only an 80% chance that Vader will even attempt to do the ability block.
And it says on Jedi or Rebels it's unavoidable or unresistible or something too.
Correct.
It can still not land though, because like Finn said, it is only an 80% chance. But I have personally, since Bastia leads started popping up a bunch, I have been noticing that Jedi that are hit with his attack will resist it.
Okay.
Now, I think it's bugged.
Different. Yeah, if you see the word resist, it's different. But what's essentially happening is I'll use a little metaphor here. It's the equivalent of Russian roulette. If the bullet fires out of the gun, you're dead. But there's not 100% chance that the bullet's going to fire, right? So
unless you're Irish.
Yeah. So it's essentially the same thing with his basic. It's if he tries to put ability block on a rebel or Jedi, it's supposed to land. But there's not 100% chance that he's going to do the ability block. There's only an 80% chance. So
I was just wondering. Okay, yeah, I was wondering because it's only old Ben that I've seen to have the problem. Like I have not landed one on old Ben in 2 days. GK, Ezra, no problems. It's almost every single time like it's hitting through the foresight like it's supposed to. But old Ben, I can't get anything to land on him, and it's killing me on these the opening sequence because I don't use Vader's AOE. I'll ability block old Ben so he doesn't reduce everybody's turn meter and ability block, and that piece of crap's missed every freaking time the past 2. I just wonder if anybody else or if it was just coincidence that the RNG was just that horrible against him, because even in the battle I can't get it to land later on either. I just wonder if it was just me or bad RNG or I was missing something or whatever, you know what I mean? But
it could be bad RNG. It could also be a bug. If Grim is saying that he's seen it resist, then there may very well be a bug aspect to it. But even before Bastila was released, people had asked this question.
Oh my God.
Ice cream truck!
Yeah,
Ice cream!
Until the past 2 days, it's the only time I've had an issue with it. I was just wondering. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I've reported that bug with Vader's basic quite a while back because I was noticing even like Luke and freaking old Ben and GK would resist his ability block, which would piss me off. over and over.
It says resisted or evade or I just know after it hits that there's not an ability block on old Ben. I'm like because that really it puts me in a real bad place in arena once if they do that an ability block for my dude. It's tough to come back from.
All right, now it's time for Wacky News Monday. We do this as many times as we can. So let's look at our first story of the day. Let's see here. Egyptian zoo denies a zebra is a donkey after a photo goes viral. Well,
it is exactly how it sounds.
Yeah. A zoo in Egypt has denied painting a donkey with black stripes in order to make it look like a zebra. The smudge marks kind of give it away, but I'm just saying. Egyptian student Mahmoud Zahar, 18, was visiting the International Garden in Zaire City, Cairo, when he spotted the suspiciously striped creature. Mr. Sahan captured a photo of the animal that appears to show black smudges smeared across its face. He told Sky News, "From the first sight, I knew that it was a donkey, not a zebra, as I'm an artist. I know the shape of a donkey and I know the shape of zebras, so it was easy to know." The image went viral after it was shared on social media on July 21st, with experts giving their verdict on the exact nature of the animal. Local radio station NugoFM.net contacted the zoo's director, Muhammad Zoltan, who denied the animal was a donkey. His comment came as Egyptian news site extranews.tv sent images of the animal to a local vet named Dr. N. He pointed out that the zebra usually have a black nose and mouth area. The animal in Mr. Zahar's photo appears to be pale in this region. All right, that's a zebra and that's a donkey. That's a zebra.
Yeah, if you look at the first picture that they posted, that is, if that really is a zebra, that is one hell of a small zebra.
Very small.
Because they're big animals.
It's a baby zebra.
It is not a baby zebra. They do not look like that, Finn.
Aren't zebras kind of like a lion's bargain bucket or something?
What do you mean?
One zebra will feed a pride of lions.
Yeah, but
like
they usually they don't. Problem with zebras that lions have, they'll go for the smaller ones. But the stallions that usually run around with the female zebras, I mean, they can. It's dangerous for a lion to go after a zebra. They do go after them, like they go after those big giant oxen too, but it's extremely dangerous for zebras. I'm sorry, for lions. So they usually what they do is they do that thing where they separate things out to go for the for the calves and stuff like that. But sometimes they do, and it's extremely dangerous. I've seen documentaries where they're chasing after the zebra. As soon as they try to do their thing where they jump up and claw, they get that kick and usually can kill a lion, where they get their jaw broken and their ribs broken, because a kick from a zebra is nasty. They can kick with such force, it's ridiculous.
You just reminded me of the one we had. What was it, a couple weeks ago?
It doesn't even look like a zebra. I'm just going back and forth between the zebra, donkey, zebra, donkey.
It could be a donkey just born with very bad stripes. I mean,
yeah,
it could have been born with it.
Get the hell out of here.
Or maybe it's Maybelline.
Yeah, maybe it's Maybelline. Awful, just awful. Oh my god! All right, next photo. God. Inmate filmed riding on top of moving police car. God. Martin Gregory Estrada slipped from his handcuffs, smashed the window, and clambered to the top of the moving vehicle. A Texas inmate has taken a ride on the roof of a police car after clambering out of the window. Martin Gregory Estrada, 31, was being transported between facilities when he slipped from his handcuffs, shattered the passenger window, and climbed onto the roof of the car. The inmate managed to balance himself on top of the vehicle, and the officer continued driving until help had something to arrive. A video taken by a motorist shows that the man sitting on the moving car, then leaves from the roof as it slows and is approached by other vehicles. He is then apprehended by arriving officers.
What they don't include in this is that this worked perfectly for Grande, and that's why he's moving.
Well, you're not wrong, Finn. Wow.
This guy just tried to recreate it and forgot that he's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I always wonder what these people think. Like, what was his plan? Was he gonna jump off the car? Was he like? Did he not think that it was? I mean, I guess if you're desperate, you do whatever. But
they have their
it
plan.
just seems like so smart.
Step
one,
Step 1, get out of police car. Step 2, question mark. Step 3, run away from police.
Step 4, profit. Yeah.
See, had it been like in Texas, the cop would probably slammed on the brakes.
Oh yeah,
this was in Texas.
This
was Texas.
Yeah. Oh, it was Texas? Okay.
This was Texas.
I'm surprised they didn't do that.
They just waited until they got more cops to show up, and then slow down, let him jump, and then beat his ass.
What was that movie? What was it? Speed, the movie where they couldn't stop the vehicle or whatever. Yeah. This is the inmate version of Speed.
Oh, God.
The video is, you don't need to play it, but it's pretty neat because he, like, as soon as like the other police like surround that police vehicle, there's like a fence on the edge of the highway, and so he jumps off and tries to run towards the fence and just gets like tackled by all the other police. He really had like no plan whatsoever. It's awesome.
I mean, I guess if you got to commit to it and keep going or something. I don't know. It just seems like so stupid. Just give up. You're not going to get away with it.
All right, let's go to the next one. Grocery sees dirty word in summa cum laude censors cake.
Oh my word! Really?
A South Carolina woman isn't happy a grocery store censored her honor graduate son's cake, which was supposed to include the Latin phrase summa cum laude. Carrie Kaczynski told the Washington Post a cake online from Publix that was supposed to say, "Congrats, Jacob, summa cum laude class of 2018." It says, "Congrats, Jacob, summa ... laude class of 2018."
Oh my word!
She says the online message box did not like the word "cum," the Latin word for "with." The computer marked it as a naughty word and substituted 3 hyphens. Kaczynski said she didn't fill in a box for special instructions, explained the Latin word, and placed the $70 order. Another family member picked up the cake, not knowing what it was supposed to say. It came with the hyphens. She says the store gave her a refund and a gift card when she complained. Really?
That's funny. The picture below it says, "Profane special characters not allowed." ...
And she wrote in the special instructions too.
Mm-hmm.
That the word is mistaking the Latin word, and they didn't care. They still just dashed it up.
Wow.
Wow. Just wow. Simply
This next.
just wow. God. You can't use a naughty word on a cake that you're going to be taking for private consumption.
That probably was the reaction.
God.
I don't know much of these words, but I recognize that one in the middle. And
That's
that one
a
ain't
naughty word.
Do you reckon they wouldn't acknowledge my name then?
No.
Happy birthday, dash, 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 dash.
Mike dash,
Space.
dash, dash. All right, next one.
CG must run that bakery.
No. Next.
Yeah, nerfed McVenom.
All right, next one. Tennessee man does naked jumping jacks in McDonald's woman's restroom, later arrested.
Well, was he doing them
Brody
wrong?
Young was arrested this week after authorities allegedly found him in a McDonald's bathroom doing jumping jacks while naked. A Tennessee man was arrested this week after authorities allegedly found him in a McDonald's woman doing jumping jacks while naked. Nashville police were called to the fast food restaurant on Monday because a man, later identified as 25-year-old Brody Taylor Young, had allegedly locked himself in the woman's bathroom all day, WFAA reported. He refused to leave despite pleas from the restaurant's management. At one point, when the bathroom door became unlocked, an officer found Young in a stall. Mr. Young was erratic and doing jumping jacks and hitting the wall, the arrest affidavit obtained by the news station reads, adding that Young smelled of chemical fumes as if he had been huffing. The 25-year-old reportedly had faced huffing charges in the past, WKR reported. Young was taken into custody because he was deemed to be intoxicated and a danger to himself and others, WFAA reported. He was later charged with trespassing, public intoxication, and public indecency. He was later released on bond and was slated to appear in court on Tuesday.
Y'all gonna be sniffing that Jankum?
Man, you look in such great shape. How do you do it? Well, what I do is I huff a bunch of paint, and then I go in the bathroom and I do me some naked jump jacks. It's real good.
So I was
Wouldn't
going
that be uncomfortable? I mean, I don't know.
That's why he was hitting the wall.
Oh, man, but yeah.
He was just trying to imitate War Boys, all shiny and chrome.
I mean,
huff huff huff.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Maybe he hasn't developed much yet.
I mean,
They'll drop eventually, mate. Jumping won't help it, though.
I'm pretty sure he was huffing Jankum. I'm fairly sure he was. If he was in the bathroom and then he was huffing, yeah, it would check.
I do agree with Hideous on this one, though.
The huffing, that's the bathroom urinal cakes, then.
Oh gosh! Oh
no, he was in a woman's bathroom, so there's no urinal cakes.
Right.
Right. That's
I
right.
don't know. I've never been in a woman's.
No,
Nice.
right. Oh my God! What a story! All right, let's look at the next one. Japanese baby's full head of hair goes viral on Instagram. God, that is a mob of hair. A 6-month-old baby in Japan is already a full-fledged social media celebrity thanks to her impressively large and thick head of hair. Actually, it's a nice head of hair. That's not bad. An infant girl known as Baby Chanko on Instagram has amassed more than 140,000 followers on the photo sharing site thanks to her mesmerizing head of hair. Baby Chanko's mother, who started the account when the girl was only 4 months old, said the child is already getting haircuts to thin out her somewhat unwieldy and heavy locks. A British baby went viral at the age of 2 months old in 2016 when his parents revealed his similarly full head of hair to the world. Junior Cocknoon's mother said he was born with hair on his head, but she didn't realize how long and thick his hair was until his first bath.
Wait, what was his name again?
Junior Cocknoon's mother
That's what I thought you said. Okay, carry on.
Mm-hmm. Let's look at that hair. Jesus.
Does anybody else picture Elvira with that hair?
Yeah, right. Elvira, giddy up a moon, up a moon, up a moon. Wow, that is pretty impressive. What would that?
You know, it's one of the hair product manufacturers needs to jump on this one.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Look what Rogaine can do for your baby.
Because nothing bad can come from you putting a commercial of you testing shampoo on an Asian baby. Like that's
Propecia. It's not just for adults anymore. It's for babies.
Well, who was doing Troy Polamalu's commercials?
Jerry Curl Jr.
Mm-hmm. The thing is,
for that 6-month-old baby that has a full head of hair. The smallest market size ever.
That's a plethora of hair.
Oh
right
my
there.
gosh.
I'll tell you what, that's a lot of hair there, Cone Cobra.
I wonder if this is natural or if the parents did something to make this happen.
I'm guessing the mama had a lot of heartburn during pregnancy.
God, I hope they didn't do anything to make her have that hair.
I don't think they would.
I don't think they would either, but just
like a chia pet type of thing or something.
Ooh,
just water.
It's like their parents used freaking Rogaine for lube.
Yeah. Oh gosh, I'm agreeing with you, thinking you're saying something about Rogaine, and then you go and go there.
Yes, I
got, baby. Bring it on.
Oh my gosh, could you imagine if that was for real? If they really used Rogaine?
It would be awful.
How
like I said, nothing can ever come wrong from you testing hair products on an Asian baby.
Maybe it's just evolution in progress. Who knows? Maybe we're coming up on an ice age, so humans need to start having more hair. And they're the first two examples.
Leave it to the Asians to beat everyone else to the punch.
Well, they do have pandas, so
we don't agree with pandas. Next article.
All right. Judge orders man to pay $8.8 million for breaking up a couple's marriage. Damn. Durham, North Carolina. A judge has sided with a husband who found his wife having an affair and ordered the so-called other man to pay nearly $9 million.
What?
The Herald Sun of Durham reports that Superior Court Judge Orlando Hudson awarded Keith King of North Carolina $8.8 million in compensatory and punitive damage surgery for Francisco Huizar III. King had sued Huizar, among other complaints, criminal conversation and alienation of affection. North Carolina is one of the few states where jilted spouses can sue affair partners. King claims his marriage was destroyed by Huizar's wrongful and malicious actions. King used text messages, Facebook posts, phone records, and hotel receipts to prove Huizar ended his relationship with his wife. Attorney Joanne Foyle says the affair and an alleged assault by Huizar cost King's company BMX Stunt Shows revenue and an employee, as his wife worked for the company. Huizar's company, Sherry Patrick, says that King's marriage was damaged before Huizar met the wife at a BMX show. Patrick says King was controlling and manipulative. Huizar plans to appeal. What?
Don't be cheating on no woman in North Carolina. Damn.
God bless America. I don't think this will hold up in federal appellate court, but Jesus. This sets a precedence, man.
That's right around Ouchie's territory.
That's cool, actually.
Hell yeah!
You know what's happening there, right? So the guy is gonna, even if he's appealing it, right? He has to spend all of his money on defending this now, because he lost at this level. And the other guy, the lawyer, is probably like, no, we'll just continue with it and see what happens. Probably doesn't care because she's getting crazy publicity from this. I had no idea who Joanne Foyle is, but now if you want to sue the person that wrecked your marriage, there you go, Joanne Foyle.
$8.8 million, man.
I mean, it does.
Crazy.
It does cause
a
lot of emotional trauma and scarring for some people. It really does. You know? So
maybe the dude's loaded. I mean, maybe he makes 100 million a year, so what's 10 million, 9 million?
Right.
Well, true. He is the third, so I bet you his family is pretty well off.
After that 8.8 million, he probably has to go back down to the second.
Either that, or they have no imagination when it comes to naming their children.
Well, you can always just name your child Junior Cox. Just avoid the whole thing.
Wait a minute. Wait. What's that noise?
That was
dancing.
Oh, okay.
My name's Daryl, and this is my brother Daryl, and my other brother Daryl.
We're millionaires.
I love that show.
Did you hear about the people that named their twins Fish and Chips?
What?
That is a lot of money.
They named their twins Fish and Chips.
Yeah. What?
And another one. That one was made by law.
Why is she always talking about fish and then telling us not to call her Fishy Daughter?
Just her first name was Tallulah does Bahula in Hawaii. That was her first name.
Her first name was what?
What kind of people is she hanging out with?
The hula in Hawaii.
Tallulah does the hula in Hawaii.
Dutchison, imagine the amount of vaults you could buy with 8 million.
The first thing you do after that settlement is go straight to Galaxy of Heroes.
Wants to know why you resist the name of Fishy Daughter and then talk about fish constantly.
I don't talk about fish constantly.
Well, they've picked up on you talking about
I had my own guild of 50 maxed out account.
Hey, Mike, ask her if she's interested in having a last name called Cox.
Zoe's one who takes her shoes off. Sweary daughter's one who takes her shoes off and sticks them out of fish.
Fishy Cox.
Cox Noon. Someone's surname. Was his name Justin?
I don't know.
No, Junior. Junior. They decided just to skip that whole first-second thing, just call him Junior.
Yeah, that was it.
When I worked at the call centre, their name backwards was Chulongkok. It was an arrow. Someone had seen it on the list, written on a big arrow, and read this backwards, lol, right next to it. Chulongkok.
Okay. Let's get to questions.
Long was Leong.
Alright, let's get to some questions.
Okay, first question from Paul Morgan. Question: with the ever-growing power creep and release of so many marquee characters, what is or will CG be doing to ensure they don't have to perform secondary reworks or refunds? Can I say I kind of disagree with the whole power creep aspect?
Go for it.
Well,
they're coming out with powerful characters, right? But I've never seen so many characters being able to be used in Arena before in quite a while. It's not that there's one character that's so far ahead in power that you can't use anything else. The only one maybe is Treya, right? But that's because Treya is a raid reward character from the end game content. But every other character you can rotate through. Like, there was never a time, I'm doing it now, right? But there was never a time before this that I would rotate more than 2 teams in Arena. And one was because it was really good on defense and I could win against most other teams, and one was a counter to it. But right now, I'm running 5, almost 6 different teams in order to beat stuff with easy counters against my Arena squad, against my Arena shard. So I don't necessarily agree that we're at the point where power creep is like crazy and there's only like one dominating character besides Treya, and I think Treya is deserving of that since she is a reward from the top end content right now. That makes sense?
Well, Grim, what do you say?
Well, I was gonna say there is a power creep, and the most latest part of it has been those Gear 12 Plus pieces.
If you could ever get any.
Because it's not as bad as other games, which I am grateful. Some other games, the power creep is so stupid that only whales play their games. But the reason I say that it's not as bad is because it's not quite locked behind a paywall like most other games. The
only thing I'll say though is that if you counter a team with the correct team, those Gear 12 Plus pieces make 0 difference. So I can use my Night Sisters that are gear 11 with a gear 12 Asajj and go up against a Jedi Training Raid team that has the gear 12 pieces all the way across. And I know I can beat them. If I'm trying to fight them with a team that's maybe even, so if I try to go against it with my own Jedi Training Raid team, then maybe that's going to affect it. But there are so many counters to every single team that the Gear 12 pieces really aren't that big an influence. It's annoying that you're getting 12 speed, so you reduce your chance of being able to do that rock versus rock, and you kind of have to go to that whole rock, paper, scissors mentality. But I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
All right.
But to the rest of the question, I mean, they're always reworking characters, but they're reworking characters that aren't part of the meta. They're reworking characters with specific purposes. So Grandmaster Yoda, for example, was a character that was super underused. And he was a legendary character. So they reworked him, and only him, and that's because they knew Bastila was coming out. So they came out with this concept that they were putting out just a Yoda rework, and he was going to work well with Bastila. Typically, the other reworks are all characters that haven't been used. And so they rework only the ones that are lower and kind of bring them up to par and make them viable. And you kind of just rotate one team out and you bring another team in. And you kind of keep this cycle of teams that you can use in Arena to climb. So I mean, I don't think they're at a bad place in the game right now, honestly. I think the only thing is I've been playing around with it. There's not a very simple counter to Traya right now. There's some that can work if you use like Magma against Scion, and I mean, there's a few other ones, and they're a little bit harder to get, a little lower, less acquired and geared characters. But there's not like a super easy counter for Traya, and again, that's not really a problem. Traya should be the highest end character. So, I mean, I think right now in terms of character balance, for the most part, and I know there's some new things recently that have caused issues, but I think their balance of
Night Sisters on.
Yeah, his character balance by CG hasn't been too bad, I think, so far. All right. Next question. Jorveld, question: does Traya Unique trigger Emperor Palpatine's lead? It doesn't seem to do so. It does. Yeah. When at the start of your turn, if you dispel it, then it triggers the turn meter game.
Right.
But if you're facing, like a lot of teams that I face will have a Nest, and Nest puts days up at the beginning, and then you don't get anything from that. That just starts to mess everything up. So, next question, Fatality V2 question. I want to use a Zeta on either Hermit Yoda or Grandmaster Yoda on my Jedi team. I don't have Zetas on either. I have a Zeta Bastila lead, Ezra, and General Kenobi on the team too. So which one should he use it on, Hermit Yoda or Grandmaster Yoda?
I choose Hermit Yoda first.
Same.
Because he's more useful. I mean, he's more useful in other aspects of the game than just an Bastia, however you pronounce her.
Bastila.
For Arena.
BS.
You have to pronounce it correctly. It's Bastia. Bastia.
BS and her mate BJ.
Oh my.
Yes, strength flows. Strength flows on Hermit Yoda is the way to go. Next question, Paul Morgan. Question: where should my refunded Zeta go? Wait until we see if there's any kind of change to Daka and what the change to Zombie is. I mean, you may very well just throw it back on Daka.
And then put it on Traya.
Daka's Zeta is still pretty good, even if they completely nerf Zombie.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
So just need to wait. Paul Morgan, question: thoughts on a Mother Talzin, Asajj, Daka, Scion, and Nihilus team? It's too easy to take out?
Yeah.
You just need to fracture Scion, and you can kill Daka, and your team's going to start falling apart. I mean, there's way too many counters to that team. I don't think the Nihilus Scion combination is nice. It's a nice duo, but I think there's too many counters to that team. You're not going to be able to protect Daka long enough.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Yeah, because Scion's taunt is. Yeah, Scion's taunt is too conditional. You need an auto taunter in there.
Yep.
Like Zalbar.
Question, Mr. Pennypinch. I put my second Zeta on Asajj on her leader before the fix, since there are not any great Phase 4 heroic Sith teams. I have the gear to make Asajj Gear 12. Should I put it on her or BB-8?
Oh.
Well, how much are you getting in the heroic Sith Phase 1 with JTR? And how much are you getting with your Night Sisters?
Without a Gear 12 BB-8,
yeah, you know, if you're getting, what was it, the 2 to 4% with your JTR team already, and your Night Sisters are not doing very well, then, you know, Night Sisters.
Yeah, I think the questions that you need to answer for that one, because they're both good characters to get to Gear 12. The questions to answer: one, which one do you need help more with in the raid in order to up your score? Second is, which one does your guild need more help with? Does it help your guild more to have a more Phase 4 damage or Phase 1 damage? And the last one, do you use the Jedi Training Raid Team or the Night Sisters in Arena? I think if you answer those three questions, you'll figure out which one is best. But both of them are a good one to take to Gear 12. Because Asajj gets a bayonet and BB-8 gets the multi-tool. And both of them do really well once you get those. So. Jojo-san, question. Hoarding mods for the mod update is flooding my mod inbox, and it's getting harder to manage my mods. Around the corn, how is everyone handling the mod saving and managing leveling? Quick point, if your mods are in your inbox, it's completely worthless to keep them. Because the whole point is you need to get them leveled up to 3, 6, or 9 if they're green, blue, or purple, so that you level up the secondaries on them. And so if they're sitting in your mod inbox, they're not going to do you any good, because by the time you get them out, you're going to need to level up them with the new system, and then you're not going to get the bonus that you're getting now on green, blues, and purples. So if your mod inbox is full and you're trying to hoard mods for the mod update, then you're kind of wasting time and effort. You should start replacing the mods on your characters that are bad. So if you have 1 dots, 2 dots, if you have grays that you haven't leveled up and just kind of threw on them, whatever it is, you should start replacing your mods with the other ones so that you can bring stuff into your mod inventory and level them up, because mods in your inbox are worthless. Anyone else?
I agree.
Nope. I'm saving all my speed and offense, selling all the rest that don't have any of the secondary stats I like. Now it's mainly getting like a certain mod set with a certain primaries about what I've got down to focus, and not just so much mods in particular, because I'm needing like a lot of offense mods now for certain teams. Now I'm needing offense mod set with offense cross. I'm limited on actually what I'm getting. So everything other than that, I'm pretty much selling at this point, unless it has speed.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, the saving in the inbox and farming isn't going to help. Next question, Verga Grande. Question: I was about to finish off my Night Sisters and Zeta Daka. Now I'm working on my Jedi in prep for heroic Sith raid. What is a good Zeta for the Yodas? And so how would you? I mean, I'm not a fan of working on the Jedi for heroic Sith personally. So has anybody kind of worked on them?
I have.
I mean, Yoda, yes, but I mean.
Yeah, but not for like the full Jedi Phase 1 team. It seems like there's too many resources involved. But what do you think, Mike?
To be honest, I haven't tried him in Phase 1. I tried him again on Saturday, Phase 2, and I'm running Bastilla lead, Zeta'd, Hermit Yoda with Strength Flows Zeta, and I was really struggling to decide, do I do Grandmaster Yoda's special or do I do Ezra's Flourish? And I've opted to do Grandmaster Yoda, and I'm not really regretting it. At some point in the future, I will do Flourish because I think it is a good Zeta. But those three work really well together, and I posted. It'll be out tomorrow. 2.5 million. I was really surprised. That's Bastilla, Hermit, Grandmaster, Ezra, and Jodie Bindo.
There you go. Next question, Darth Hideous. Question for Grim. Why do you keep calling Bastila by her Spanish name?
Yeah.
Just to piss people off.
No.
I call her Bastilla because that's what Chrome told me it was.
That's wrong.
Bastilla.
Bastila!
Next question, It Poops Bombs. Anyone else's Nihilus not healing on Annihilate? I've been meaning to grab a video, but I keep forgetting.
It doesn't
He
heal
doesn't
on Annihilate.
heal on Annihilate.
Yeah,
It increases his max health.
Mm-hmm.
That's fine.
So, yes. It's not healing on Annihilate. Next question, Contingent. With the paper zombie strategy being reworked, is it better to gear up zombie or should I keep her at gear 6 for now?
I would wait.
I'm waiting.
Just to see what they're
well.
going to do.
Mhm.
Rule of thumb, just wait. Especially when you don't know like any details about what's happening. You're always better off waiting.
That way you're not kicking yourself in the end going, why did I waste all that gear?
Or why did I waste that Zeta on Grandmaster Yoda lead when Bastila came out a week later and is viable at 3-star?
Yeah.
Why?
Just go ahead and wait on these things. There's not usually a rush in order to get something done like immediately. So wait until we figure out what the zombie details are, how she's going to interact with the rest of the Night Sisters, all that kind of stuff. So, next question, Thane Kyrell. Can we get an Ouchie versus Grim on the Saturday night stream?
Jesus.
Is he still asking for the fight about ships?
Yeah.
Ships suck. Next question, Tis McVenom. Question, was staying on target gearing and zetaing the Night Sister for heroic Sith raid and territory wars and territory battle, but now I'm questioning if I should focus on gearing zetas for a new arena team. Depends what you need for your arena team. Night Sisters are still viable in arena depending on what your arena chart is full of.
And territory battles and territory wars and the free zetas from Talzin's event.
Yep.
And
focus on arena first. Yeah, whatever you need for arena first should be your first priority.
Big Bang in America.
What?
I mean, at worst, like if people are getting 5 or 6 million now, Night Sisters.
It's an American show.
I said at worst they'll get 1 or 2 or 3 million.
It's Fishy Daughter. It's Fishy Daughter. Shh.
Oh, well, sorry. I thought I was. I'm glad I didn't swear there. So Dancing has a question, and as you can see, so what she wants to know is there is a TV show. She doesn't know whether you get it in America. It's called The Big Bang Theory.
Yes.
Yes.
It was
you've
started.
heard of it?
What do you mean? It's the number one show in this country.
Well, other than it's an American show, yeah. Sorry, I'm saying that to her with angry face, angry eyebrows going on. You is so stupid. What's 9 plus 10?
Yeah, I do. Sheldon is awesome. You know, it's like a Ranger.
There's only 3.
Ranger.
No. We have to do the British version. Oi!
Yeah.
So
I love that show.
yeah, listen to the stream. You get your answer. There you go. There's another view. Leave a like.
I ain't got fucking phone.
Oh,
Yes,
God.
you do.
Oh,
It's
Jesus. Oh.
yeah, thank you for that. So you're also sweary dancing. Yes.
So her question is, would you like to have Sheldon Cooper as a friend?
That is her question. Yes.
No.
I actually do have a friend that's very similar in
Yeah,
personality
that's all
to
I
Shen.
can. I do too, and that's all I can do to handle it.
He's one of my closest friends, and yeah, he's very much like Sheldon Cooper.
So, as soon as you went to answer, she walked off.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know that I'm not like Sheldon in a lot of ways.
Not even close, Chrome.
No,
I mean, I'm pretty annoying. Let's get real.
No,
Yeah,
like that, no.
I mean, we're not talking brain power here. That's
I'm
apparent.
not talking about brain power either. You're not even close.
Okay. Just making sure that we knew that wasn't
friends
close.
that have friends like Sheldon Cooper, no. But you're nowhere near.
I have a friend. I have Sheldon Cooper as a friend, Finn.
Yeah. She's not wrong.
I like to think of myself more as a Raj for multiple reasons.
I think, yeah, Raj. I get that Raj feeling as well.
It's actually not too far off with how he deals with females and everything too.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. Next question. So we'll start running through the rest of these here. Next question, Thane Kyrell. Question for the lady on the stream. So Dana, which RSG member would you take to go Rancor hunting and why? You can choose more than one, but picking Finn to be bait doesn't count.
Well, I always say when there's hunting of animals that I would take Finn because then we wouldn't go hunt them. We would, feed them or.
I don't think you want to feed a Rancor.
I don't know if that would work with a Rancor.
In other words, they die.
So I guess I would take. Well, I would take Grim probably because I know he has a lot of weapons already. Maybe Ranger. Yeah, and he had another question that I had an answer for. He was asking what weapons other than a lightsaber that I would take, and so I would take Chewie's bowcaster, obviously, because that was designed for hunting large, dangerous animals like that. But I'd also take an Anzio 20mm. So yeah, those are the two weapons that I would bring.
I'm bringing an M1 Abrams. I'm not even messing around. A couple 50 cals.
Well, but the Anzio 20 that makes the 50 cal look really small. It's a 69 pound.
I want an automatic 50 caliber weapon.
Yeah.
Damn it.
And I am bringing a buttstock.
If I want a single shot, I'll just bring my sniper, that old 50 cal Barrett, and just
buttstock speed all
somebody.
But
I don't think
I'm bringing righty and lefty. We got
nothing. Ski Trooper Califragilistic Espialidocious has a question. It says, "What's a good target for mod depth and mods with at least +10 speed for an endgame player? I'm a little over 100 and I'm contemplating farming Marauder for his BS counter ability."
Over 9,000?
If you're at that point, I would use the T-Money rule of thumb. Make sure that any team you're using in Territory Wars is modded for it. Mm-hmm. So it's based more not on just any characters and how many mod depth you have. It's which characters are you using and do they all have reasonable mods so you can use them in Territory Wars. I think that would be I call that the T-Money rule because it works once you're in later game. It doesn't work early game because you won't be able to level up enough characters. So, Contingent 33 question: I have been trying to gear up teams one at a time. I think is what he's trying. I have Jedi Training Rey at 12. I have Nightmare almost at gear 12. Which team should be next? My guild hasn't completed Heroic Sith yet.
Night Sisters.
Voltron.
No, he's not available. They took the packs down. I'm very upset.
Okay, and you answered Thane's next question, which was what weapons would you take to go Rancor hunting? So we had that question answered.
We got that one.
We answered Mike Hunt's question. The next question from Thane Kyrell. Question: depending on how badly they nerf the Night Sisters, could we live in a world where Ewoks are a better investment than them?
No.
Nope. Because Night Sisters are still the best team in Phase 4, even if you run Initiate instead of Zombie. And that's still super useful for people in Heroic Sith. Ewoks are a really good team, but yeah, still not going to be better than Night Sisters.
I mean, I know Finn would love it if Ewoks kicked ass, and they do. Only to a point.
I love my Ewoks, but I said it before. As much as I love Ewoks, I'm not going to recommend anyone farm it until late game because their abilities are good, but they require a lot of investment, gear-wise and everything. Night Sisters are fairly easy to gear up, and they're really versatile in several aspects of the game. Not to mention that whether it's Ewoks or Night Sisters, they both get you those extra Zetas, whether it's the Mother Talzin event or the Wicked for the Ewoks.
That's right.
Jungle is massive.
All right, and that's it for the questions. Ranger, can you sum up because it's starting to rain here, so I think I'm about to lose power.
You made me very angry, Finn.
Okay. I'll try. I might lose power in the middle here.
Porg.
Oh my goodness.
All right, so thank you all for watching the lunch stream. We hope you were entertained. If you come on the RSG Discord, you will see a picture of that Porg that Porg poster that I mentioned, so you guys can see that. Also, on the 1st of August, we will have the additional tiers of Patreon on our Patreon page. So make sure that you do go to the Patreon page. And if by tomorrow, by 2 p.m., so I'm giving a specific time here, 2 p.m. tomorrow, I have a special live stream that I'm doing just for the VIPs. So if you are a Patreon by 2 p.m. tomorrow, you will get access to that special video. So make sure that you can join me on the live stream that I'll be doing at 2 p.m. only for the VIPs, so you guys can hop on there. So you can join the Patreon now and still get something monthly. Right now we just have the basic level. We will be adding more tiers, and you'll get different things at each of the different levels starting on the 1st. This is the lunch stream. We do this every day at 12 p.m. Eastern time. And we do this for about an hour to try and entertain you during the lunch hour, and we hope you guys were entertained today. We'll be here again tomorrow, Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern Time is when we have our weekly Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes live stream, where we give you our news and opinions on the different things going on in the community. And then on Saturday mornings, we have Jedi Academy, which is our pure question and answer stream, where you come, ask the questions, and for 2 hours with a panel of great YouTubers, we answer your questions. So make sure that you guys join us there. Bring all of your questions for that. We try to answer some during the lunch streams and the Wednesday night streams, but Saturday, that's the main time. And then Saturday night, on a different channel, the RSG Mature channel, for our 18-plus viewers, we have the Saturday night with RSG, and that is where Ranger and a bunch of our friends get together, get tore up from the floor up, and just have fun playing different kind of games and getting drunk and, just having a merry old time. So with that, I want to thank our guests today, Mr. Grimm, the Mechanic Porg, Miss Dana Descent, the Lady Porg, Chrome Cobra, our Weed Porg, and the Cranky Porg.
If you call me
Ranger
Cranky Porg, I'm going to rip your arms off.
I'm calling you Cranky Porg forever.
And I am the Armless Porg.
Well, you won't be on the show very much then.
I am the Armless Porgfinity. Thank you all for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.